survey that I have done, that place is for the Guineans. Remember what I'm saying today. Mark this and remember it. We had an argument today. We were plenty. People from Lofa were there. And people from Lofa know very well that that place, when you look at the map, that place is in the yellow. That particular place the Guinea are is in the yellow. People from Lofa are aware, they are informed, they are convinced. But let me tell you what's part of the situation, Stanton. You know, the people doing money, Mr. Bwaka is doing money on the people water. And that was brought the problem. The first time the people seized the machine, they went and talked to the people gave them the machines. And they brought it. And the people know very, very well that that place is not for Liberia, from my survey, from people I sat with, from Lofa County, senior officials, they know it very well. When you look at the map, that particular portion of that place is in yellow. It's not in the place for my information. I may not be right. But in those days to come, keep this recalling. People will say, Yeke said it. Let me tell you why Gregory went over there. Gregory didn't go there because he was sent by national security. Gregory went there because just within a space of less than 2 weeks, from our source, reliable source, the government have used $30.5 million US dollars. How can they justify the money that have been used? So they have to stay Gregory there. You think they don't have competent and trained AFL people to go over there? They have it. But the money their commanders are eating is not being given to them to buy resources, to buy all the things, to give to the trained AFL people that they got here doing evasion. They are trained manpower that can go. Guinea can do nothing to Liberia. But the resources for the manpower that on the ground are there. Gregory put in your pocket. Gregory went over there because he's supposed to be there. Gregory is supposed to be inside. The AFL is supposed to be manning the border along with immigration, not police. And listen to Stanton very well. But you know, before this saga finished, Stanton, and let me tell all the people on the show, the government will tell us to use nothing less than $5 to $6 million US dollars for that situation. That's why they're carrying the situation the way they're carrying it. Mr. Bwaka should be very frank with the Liberian people and tell them, say, look, they play have not been for us for long, but we've been using it and we abuse it by putting people there to man to the place. That's what provoked the people. You can't take the people there. From my source, I may not be correct. From my information, I know my information is correct 100%, because from people I sat with, senior hierarchy of Lofa County, and we argue it. They told me, say, you can look at the map. Look at the place we're talking about. It's in yellow, Stanton. People not telling you the truth. What provoked the Guinea was the money that Mr. Bwaka and people doing there. And look, Dumuya no money, Mr. Bwaka. Dumuya. People, I will do it late for him. Okay, so do it late for him. Who late for him? I'm trying to get Yami basic. Who late for him? If I got discipline in China, do we know that boys for him to discipline? Do you know that small boy for him to discipline? If I get that statement, my we a children now, let him discipline a children now, and we late for him. La lepo talk. I said la lepo talk. Look, let me tell you something. If you have somebody that do not have moral, you know me asking me who not get moral. When you have somebody that do not have moral standing to position, and that was wrote or impeachment bill. Look, I don't care what Nyame say do, he will be impeached. He will be impeached with a higher disgrace.
What do you think have no moral?
Nyame say
he has no moral.
He have no moral.
Why?
Because he's corrupt.
He's corrupt?
Yes.
You have evidence?
Let me take me the quote. Is it a quote? No, poverty will harass. Look, Sekou, the freedom of speech got two parts. They have the opinion speech, they have the insultive speech.
which the Lebron people can call curse. They have the cursing speech. All of that was decriminalized. If you say a certain fee that my statement was directed to him and it injured him, let him go sue me for damage. Yami Gbese should have gone and sue for damages.
You think Yami Gbese is corrupt?
He is corrupt.
How is he corrupt?
The fact that he took his son and appointed his son as a magistrate is against the code of conduct.
Is that enough to classify him?
I don't want to say he corrupt. Let him go sue me. When Yami Gbese sue me, he will say that so. I said that so. Go through the case.
No, but he did not do it in the Prophet Key case.
Because Prophet Key were abused. That abuse of power.
Be applied to you.
It can never challenge him. I mean, second time of boy, you speaking to men. The man sat down here. That man that do not have moral. That Yami Gbese that do not have moral sat down here. The men of ruling that the setting of Weteku and the people was illegal. Somebody sat down there and called him donor. What did he do? Because he wanted to be chief justice, did he do anything? He accepted that he drunk.
Yes.
Prophet Key, Yami Gbese sat down here. A Prophet Key said he corrupt. He didn't go for anything.
Was it true that he has a property or hotel in Nima?
Yes. I put it on my page. There was that bar association can go. They're not conflict of interest. Conflict of interest is corruption under the law. You say, Seku, what wrong with you? Say that here. You know, when you talk to veteran lawyers, counselors, they will tell you, say, my man, you know, our case is before. Yami will say, all the people are pressing you, they didn't mean well for you. Let me tell you the truth today. They will tell you behind the scenes, say, look, what they may do.
Yami Gbese will go after you, and it could be a serious problem for you because he has threatened to do.
The speaker, the general speaker, they are playing. Generator for emergency. Beginning tomorrow, we can say but why is that doing?
Thought on the issue of the threshold bill that was passed recently, and then a motion of reconsideration was taken by one of our colleagues, which sparked heated debate around here. You know, on the 9th of December 2025, the House of Representatives passed on this bill and sent it to the Senate for concurrence. This bill was crafted following the submission of the 2022 census result, which puts Liberia's population at around 5.2 million plus. And this submission was done to satisfy the constitutional requirements that are enshrined in Articles 80D and 80E. In 80D, it says each constituency shall have an approximately equal population of 20,000 or such number of citizens as the legislature shall prescribe in keeping with population growth, a movement as reviewed by the National Census.
It's Magella Cooper. I'm the senior political advisor to His Excellency Joseph Boakai, President of the Republic of Liberia. But I also happen to be the spouse of the Speaker. The example of our President, His Excellency Joseph Boakai. This is why we are here. Let me be on record. This is the national anchor of Republic of Liberia. That is the nucleus of Liberia. Go. Everything that Liberia needs to reflect on the historicity how Liberia was built, we have it here. But the central government has forgotten us. And we will continue. Why? Who will speak? Mercy. And a while we're here.
Coming from the executive.
I say, I don't know why the president choose to think about football academy right after the exit of the footballing president. President Boga had never, I don't think he even played in elementary school. To sit and decide that you're going to play a football academy, something that was being done by President Weah, who is celebrated around the world as who is celebrated in Africa. We think that is a serious challenge. That's a serious challenge. Everyone should watch that, because if this woman go ahead and build a football academy, and when he background in football after the exit of the football president, that clearly speaks to the fact that football was not a priority on George Weah.
A lottery approved by the legislature. If you spend $10 million on a government project, which institution funded it? It also lends credence to some of the things people have said, that some of the money hitting the budget. For example, they're spending $1 million for Foya Hospital. What's the population of Foya? $1 million for Foya Hospital, but there are more people in Basso. There are more people in Magidi. So how do you allot money? There's a lot more money being spent for Polahun Hospital. And there is also money being spent for Current Hospital in Zozo. So this year's budget spending almost $2 million on hospitals in Foya. Are they giving those money, in Lofa, are they giving those money to go back for it and spend on other projects?
American, distinguished colleagues, I want to say good morning to every one of you, and thank God that we're in 2026. This is a very pleasant morning. All we can say, we want to tell God thank you for life. He has given us another breathing space. However, I am reminded of the conversation that was in the chat room yesterday, where the speaker validated that Cecilia Bokun is his biological sister. That leads us to the fact that Richard Kun, at this point in time, you should recuse yourself, that you have committed crime under our marital law, the domestic law of this republic, that incest is a crime. So until we get reasons why you marry your sister, I think you have lost legitimacy to preside as speaker. So it is just the right thing for you to recuse yourself. And one thing, there are a lot of colleagues calling me and say, you're from the Fanatical Blood, they fire, you're not supposed to be commenting, you're not supposed to be talking. There is not a no damn black thing that we're talking about. We are talking about the credibility, the image of the house that represents every one of us, the legislature as a body. Do you know what happened? That a woman is claiming that she got a marriage divorce certificate from the Civil Law Court. The reputation of our judiciary is placed on a question. Now the executive is also placed on a question. The legislature is placed on a question. And the lives and the status of our Liberian brothers and sisters in the United States of America now being in danger. This is a grave allegation. I'm hoping that our dear speaker can do the right thing. I'm not talking about removal or Richard Kun. I'm only saying he should recuse himself, because they are also saying the woman fake document and blah, 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 blah. In the state of Delaware, you did it marriage, and then now we have credible information. The documents will be available today that, pictorial evidences will be out that you did marry and you exhibited acts of husband and wife. And if those papers are provided today from now to 12 o'clock, I think Richard Kun will not be speaker anymore.
Well, what is the big news?
The big news in the corridor. Are you people planning to remove the speaker?
But this is not a speaker house.
Are you one of those?
This place is not a speaker office. It's not a personal property. It's not anybody's personal property. Anybody who falls below the belt in terms of legislative proceedings or requirement, obviously it behooves the members to ask you to step aside.
Do you want the speaker out?
No, I'm saying to you now, if you perform below the belt, it behooves the members to say step aside.
Is the speaker performing below the belt?
No, he's performing.
Okay, so
he's
you don't want
performing.
him out.
No, I don't want. It's not. I don't want him out. I'm saying he's performing until it is proven beyond all reasonable doubt that this speaker have done this, has done this, has done this that required for us to remove him. Obviously, we'll remove him.
So here is my promise to you, not as a politician, but as a Liberian who lost this country with everything I have. CMC will end corruption, not reduce it, not manage it, end it. CMC will create jobs, real jobs, jobs that let you provide for your family with dignity. CMC will build roads that connect our farmers to markets, roads that connect our children to school. CMC will put medicine in hospitals, so no mother ever has to watch her child suffer because some politicians stole the health budget. CMC will unite this nation. No tribe left behind. Competence over connection. One Liberia for all Liberians. But I cannot do this alone. CMC cannot do this alone. This movement, this revolution, it belongs to you. You, the student who dreams of a better future. You, the mother who prays for her children every night. You, the father whose sweat feeds this nation. You, the professional who is embarrassed by what Liberia has become. You, in the diaspora, who left because Liberia failed you, but whose heart never left home. This is your movement. This is your movement. This is your Liberia. So I'm asking you, no, I'm calling you to join us. Join CMC, not because we have all the answers, but because together we are the answer. Sign up, volunteer, donate what you can, share this message to your neighbors. Be the change you have been waiting for. 2026, the year of change. The year we stop.
To our friends, to that particular friend, what your mother did not do, you cannot do it. What your mother did, you will not do it. Thank you very much. To that, but I will say to our friends, to that particular friend, what your mother did not do, you cannot do it. What your mother did, you will not do it. Thank you very much.
I can't stand no more, cause no more food. I cannot go to school, cause no more money. I can't stand no more, cause no more food. I cannot go to school, cause no more money. Hey yo, excuse me Mr. Journalist, I wonder how you make your headlines in the press release today. Although I read the news every day, but I'm really still getting confused now, and I just wanna ask you some questions. Oh, is it based on money? Is it based on presidency? Is it based on technology? Is it based on war? Tell me, we got major headlines. Oh, we got major story. Yeah. There is no job, no money for hustlers. We got major headlines. We got major story. Hey. There is no job, no money for hustlers. Come take our coverage, the rainy season coming soon.
Yes, indeed, we got major stories and major headlines in our area. It's a pleasure to be on your screen again tonight, and we like to welcome all of you to the round table. Today is Thursday, the 26th of March, 2026. My name is William McGill, and we have a lot on our plate. We are going to be talking about. We will run you through with news trending from across Liberia, and also our talk for today. So let's now take a break with our theme song. Once we get back, we will kick off the show tonight on this program, The Round Table.
Most especially for men. No job, no money. No plus, no glory. No help for poor men. That's what we know. How many people do you love? How many people do you cherish? How many people do you help out there? Most especially women. No job, no money. No gods, no glory. No help for poor men. That's what we know. We got bigger headlines. We got bigger stories. There is no job, no money for hustlers. We got bigger headlines. We got bigger stories. There is no job, no money.
Yes, indeed, there's no job and no money. So that's a nice team song we have, and we appreciate that. My name is William McGill, and let's take a motivational war for tonight. Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing that the only one thing standing between you and your dream is the story you keep telling yours. You know, you have it, and yeah, yourself about why you can't, you know, why you can have it. So the one thing that's standing between you and your dream is that you keep telling yourself a story, you know, that why you can have it. So, and also, let me ask you, right? What will happen if you just, for today, you decided to believe in your own power more than doubts? What will happen? So that's our motivational talk for today. And we are here today again on the program. So let's now get to some of the trending story coming out. And today on the program, the round table, let's now run with some of our trending topics. So we will be looking at recent statement coming in from the Liberia Electricity Corporation, and they've said that Guinea have reduced or cut their power supply to Liberia, and according to the release from Guinea, they are having some situation with their electricity supply there in Guinea, and we also look at today's cabinet meeting about the President Joseph Boakai, where he spoke about the natural resources of Liberia. We'll talk about that as well, and we will also dive in a little bit into a trending release about the United Methodist Church globally, and they just say something. We will come out with that release a little time. But let's run through with some stories coming out from across Liberia, and um, we are here tonight. Let me get some news from across Africa tonight. Uh, let's get some news from across Africa, and both local and international, before we dive into our discussion points. We will bring you some news from across the globe, both local and international. So it says the first story we have here says French president, sources says French president declines President Boakai's request to mandate Guinea, Liberia border dispute. And this comes in from the front page Africa. It has the president of Liberia and the president of Guinea, Emmanuel Macron, well situated with some quotations. And it says Macron says no. So, French President Emmanuel Macron has reportedly declined a direct appeal from President Joseph Boakai to intervene in the escalating border dispute between Liberia and Guinea, according to multiple sources. So, that's exactly what it says. And, we are just going to bring a gif of it to keep you up to speed with our headlines news across Liberia. And another one says a Freeport of Monrovia shift to full-time operation to boost trade investment. So again, let's say Liberia has entered a decisive phase in its maritime and commercial transformation as the National Port Authority implements sweeping reform that are reshaping the country's port operation and positioning it as a competitive player within the West African maritime corridor. For years, businesses routing cargo through Monrovia faced a critical operation setback as ports' inability to function at night created costly delays, increased demurrage charges, and discouraged major shipping lines from prioritizing Liberia in their schedules, often redirecting vessels to more efficient regional ports. That's exactly one article there too as well. So the free port of Monrovia is now transitioning from, you know, uh, short-term operation to a full-time operation where both day and night operation will be done. And let's now start with this first talking point. And before we start with that, let's run to our international news from across the BBC, trusted news outlet. And let's go to news from across our own continent, Africa. It says rationing power and diluting, you know, petrol, how African countries are coping with effects of Iran war. That's an article there. Another one say army commander evicted of Guinea Stadium massacre that's in prison. And it's another article there says FIFA investigate Congolese FA boss jail alongside wife Senegal to parade African trophy despite title being strapped. Zimbabwe says 15 nationals killed after being lured to fight for Russia. So those are news across the globe, and great that we are here tonight. Let's start with our first talking point tonight, and there's some rumor online about the NEC position, and that CSA boss Josiah Jokar is being positioned as the face for that position. And let me just read this. It says speculation is mounting across Liberia that Dr. Josiah F. Jokai Jr., the current Director General of the Civil Service Agency CSA, is poised to be appointed as the next chairman of the National Elections Commission. The growing romance come at a time when the current NEC chairperson, Director Brian Lassana, is preparing to step down from her role after nearly 6 years of service. While no official confirmation has yet been issued by the Liberian government, multiple sources within the governance institution suggest that discussions surrounding a potential transition at the NEC are gaining momentum, placing Dr. Jokai at the center of national attention. Okay, okay, yeah, okay. So that's it. And Dr. Josiah Jokar during the election period, he did fully campaign for the president Joseph Boakai, and at the time 2023 elections, he did campaign for President Boakai. And now that Madam Deveta Brown Lassana resigned, but she was later been asked by the Liberian leader to stay in the position and position all of the required documents to give her, successors a clear picture of how to be able to run the NEC. And now there's a lot of speculations about an institution like the NEC that is said to be free of political interference. With this speculation, there's a lot of people that are questioning as to whether if Mr. Joker is being placed at the NEC, if it would give the institution the level of credibility, the level of trust from the public and as well as the opposition community in terms of not, influencing the result of the elections comes 2029. So that's a critical conversation we've had and we've heard around Monrovia, and there's a speculation that is not yet fully been confirmed. So we are just diving into that conversation, and we can put that for a later date and have a clear picture of exactly what we I hope of seeing when the time comes. So again, let's now dive into our next talking point that has to do with the situation coming in from Liberia and as well as the People's Republic of Guinea. Republic of Guinea, and LEC did mention in this release I'm about to read. Where is it? It says, okay, I'm about to read or release. It says, for immediate release, maintenance work to affect regional electricity imports to Liberia. The Liberia Electricity Corporation informs the public that it has received official communication from its regional counterparts regarding scheduled maintenance work on their transmission network. According to Transcourt CLSG, maintenance activities will be carried out on its 225 kV transmission line from March 26 to March 28, 2026 between. This is not really what I want to read. I want to read the situation between Liberia and that of Guinea. So let me see if I can get a hold of this electricity situation from the situation from Liberia and Guinea, where they have said basically there will be power shortage. I hope I get this. Yeah, just wanna get this right. Okay. I just hope I didn't pass. All right. Okay. I think this is so. Okay, that is it. Maintenance work. According to Transcore CLSG, maintenance activity will be carried out on its 225 kV transmission lines from March 26th to the 28th, 2022, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. daily. Additionally, EDG, a version of LEC there in Guinea, has also reported technical issues with generation. Henceforth, power supply will be reduced to Liberia until the issue is resolved. As a result of these issues, power supply to parts of Monrovia and surrounding communities may be interrupted or experience outages during the mentioned period. These temporary disruptions are necessary to facilitate essential upgrades and to ensure the long-term reliability and stability of the regional power supply network. To reduce the impact of these disruptions, LEC will utilize its terminal and hydro generation capacity to provide partial electricity supply. Customers are therefore encouraged to plan accordingly and take the necessary precaution throughout the maintenance. So, all of this whole thing, the part that caught my attention is the part of, the Guinean side, the EDG, the version of LEC there in Guinea that says, they are having technical issue with generation. Henceforth power supply will be reduced to Liberia until the issue is resolved. I just want to say, without conclusively concluding, let me say it this way. I want to say, I think the situation between the government of Liberia and as well as the people of Guinea, they at the border is something that basically brought the situation up from the electricity, the Guinea EDG, indicating technical issue, and they have to reduce the amount of electricity exported to Liberia. And let me say, right, in as much as we've been conscious as to what to say regarding this border dispute, I think it's about time that our country, that we as people position ourselves in a stronger way that uh, we can possibly be able to handle key situations for ourselves. The issue of electricity is a must, is a very basic needs that every citizens across our country should have. It's not something that we are begging for. It should be available to every citizen within our country, Liberia. And as such, the government needs to do better to be able to uh, finding an amicable solution to these kind of situations when we talk about how we can be able to uh, strengthen our presence with the situation, and in as much as we are being very very much um, professional in handling the situation, we should also be able to basically understand the fact that we are West African countries. And I think Liberia and Liberians are doing better in terms of this border situation there in Foya of our country. And the fact that we are calm and wanting to resolve the situation, beginning see that as an opportunity, right? To be able to, use their remains that like they have done to Sierra Leone, deported about 942 citizens back to Sierra Leone. And this is, like I said the other day on the show, this is something very shocking that I haven't seen across Africa. And I think if we say we are all West African, in as much as it's important to, serve or showcase to level of president, we should also be able to understand the fact that we are all West Africans and we can be able to, collaborate, put ourselves in a better position and logically be able to handle. So our government at this point should be able to find some amicable solutions as to how they can be able to handle the tension there between the Makona River that borders Liberia and Guinea. I listened to Senator Sir Joseph this morning. He also spoke about his own intervention as an official of government, a sitting lawmaker, that is already engaging stakeholders within the Kisi community that they can be able to, find some solution to the situation. Uh, we have gone through 14 years of civil conflict in our country. And one thing I would say is that there's a lot of trauma. We are terrified in terms of seeing guns. We're not used to that as a country anymore because it's something that frightens us based on the past. You cannot have Guineans at, Lofa, in Lofa, at the border, even crossing the border, even flagging, raising their flags, and you expect us to be calm about it as we are. And then you vividly, this shows that Guinea, almost like you want to show that you have power and you want to use the power that you have. And, so we hope and pray that the situation can be resolved in a perfect manner and the government of Liberia can fully represent the people of Liberia and making sure that every situation as it relates to, basically talking about border conflict can be handled in a better way. So that's exactly why I came out from the LEC, and they have spoke about how basically this can be done, and we can be able to move ahead as one people. So also today, the president did host a cabinet meeting, which I'm very, key on. Uh, let's listen to, an interview from both the information minister and the presidential press secretary there today after the meeting. So let's listen to this, and when I come back, I read the release and we dive into that discussion. We just listen to this clip and dive into it. It's a salient point when you talk about how can we utilize these natural resources. But let's listen.
Information just right ahead of us. We're hoping you will talk to members and the press briefly to update us on the new year.
This is hoping to talk to
the cabinet meeting
Keep watching us.
cabinet members and just concluded a day-long cabinet meeting at the executive ministry. We are here hoping to talk to some of the leaders to brief a bit about the meeting, what was the outcome, what to discuss, how to conclude this meeting today. So we are still hoping to talk to Minister Pia or the Presidential Press Secretary to brief about
discussions that were held in there.
Yeah, quickly.
Yeah, Honorable Minister, my name is Anthony Williams. I work for National Television. This particular cabinet meeting was focused mainly on the country's mineral sector. You care to bring us up to speed on some of the discussions that were held in the meeting regarding advancement in the country's mineral sector?
All right, so one could say it was focused primarily on the mining sector.
Yes, sir.
That's how I would like to put it. Sure. We have lots of natural resources, but all of you have been a part of the criticism that even though we're rich in mineral resources, our country comparatively is still backward. We needed to have a clear picture of what is happening in the mining sector so as to inform decision making, to take some actions that will help the country get a better benefit of the minerals we have, particularly in the mining sector. So from a general perspective, I think that's why it was. But the Director General of the Cabinet is here, the Press Secretary is here, they could add on. But details of what transpired in the Cabinet meeting will be issued in two forms. One, the Press Secretary has a press briefing tomorrow. She will give you much more detail. A brief communique will also be issued by the Office of the Director General of the Cabinet. Those two documentations will give you clearer details on step-by-step level what we did in Cabinet. But on the summary, and to just look at it holistically, we got presentation from the mining sector, and then there were deep discussions on some of the things that presented. There were recommendations made for Cabinet endorsement. The Cabinet took some decisions, but like I said, all of those will come. Kula briefs you tomorrow, and some of it will be contained in the communique that will be issued by the Director of the Cabinet.
Thank you, Director. Can we just one Director? Okay. Sure. So, Director, one crucial one I wanted to bring to your attention briefly. It has to do with the development of a new mining law and finalization of general mining regulations. The Cabinet is supposed to have reached a decision on this today. Did we talk about that?
Yeah, I think it's an amendment
Yes,
of the mining law.
Sure.
Because from the Minister of Mines perspective, the law is limited in terms of the full gamut of mining operations in the country. So he was asking Cabinet, to look at the amendments in the law that will help us leverage, our mineral potential in the country for the benefit of the Liberian people. So those are things that we're looking at, and those amendments will be reviewed, and then, of course, I can speak to the details now. Those amendments will be reviewed, and then the Cabinet will endorse finally.
Okay.
Those mineral laws. What is the second question?
It also has to do with the Whistleblower Act, sir.
Oh, yes, of course. There are a lot of things, percolating through the system without us knowing, and so one of the ways, to get this done is through a whistleblower system, where those who whistleblow on the irregularities and infraction of law and regulations, in a way can benefit, from what they'll be doing, because it's going to help the country a lot. Liberia now is suffering for what Ghana, used to suffer from, illicit mining, and we understand, because Ghana is just an existential threat to the country's security and development, because people who have been chased away from other countries in the region because of illicit mining are gradually finding their way here to Liberia, and we want to stomach that quickly as much as possible, to prevent what was happening in Ghana happening here. So the president has been firm about this. He's clear that our natural resources should be preserved for our country. Therefore, anything that will undermine that potential will be addressed front on, or head front, as we will say.
Thank you, sir. Folks, that was the
General of the Cabinet.
So we have right before us the Presidential Press Secretary. Madam, I suggest you have a whole packed bullet points to present to us, but then the minister said we'll get more details from you on Friday. But what is there for us to know as it relates to this cabinet meeting that was just held?
Right, as you all know, and in addition to what Minister Pia as well as DG Kwabo talked about, it was primarily focused on the mining sector and talking about some of the challenges within the sector, the illicit mining, but this primarily was on finding solution and discussing what needs to happen. But I just wanted to add, in addition to that, two key documents were presented to His Excellency the President, specifically the revised National Energy Policy by the Ministry of Mines. It was presented to His Excellency, as well as the National Net Metering Policy of Liberia. Those two documents are very important within the energy sector to be able to help boost, the transmission or access to electricity, and seeing how those things will be. And as they mentioned, we'll talk more in detail in our press briefing tomorrow. But for the president, he really sees this sector as a major sector. Before the challenges, the prospect that was presented by the mining team is really high, talking about the future of our sector. So that is why at this juncture, the president and his team really looking forward to putting up these the benchmarks necessary, reviewing and amending the laws, but also strategically positioning our sector. Because as you see, Liberia is a small country, but there are challenges as to illicit mining, what they pose to the environment, to even the health sector. The Minister of Health also shared some challenges as in some of the chemicals that are being used to pollute our waters. So all of these, there were teams set up to really look into, some of the challenges and how those challenges can be looked into and solution be proffered to the president for onward decision by the cabinet as well as His Excellency the President.
These two policy documents, how did Mr. President receive them upon presentation?
Oh, he was very excited. He was happy because sometimes when we work in these sectors, we see the challenges and we just intend to find solution without any rating policy. But now that there's a net metering system policy and there's the energy policy, those documents, it will help boost the energy sector. And he's looking forward to, taking a look at it, reading it and discussing it with his team that's relating to energy and how this will enhance both sectors, both the energy and the mining sector. Because as you know, Ministry of Mines and Energy, they work hand in hand, and that's why there's a ministry specifically on that.
Thank you. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. That's
Thank
the
you. Thank you
Presidential
so
Press
much.
Secretary,
That's
Madam
the
Kula
voice of the
Fofana.
presidential press secretary, Kula Fofana, briefing us about the mining sector, some of the discussion, the document that was presented to the press.
So you listen to that, right? And you listen to all of the people in attendance, cabinet ministers, and it was a cabinet meeting. So I would just dive through some of the things the president said today, right? The first one about the sector is the fact that um, the government is not suspecting some of the same things we've said times with our numbers that like for instance, ArcelorMittal is being said to mine iron ore there in Nimba. We have a lot of different minerals that are there. Like Kinjor is said to be mining gold, and they may find so many different minerals. How fair they are to be able to tell the government that, oh, we say we are mining iron ore and we have found got diamond, gold, and we want to pay for in extra lesson to continue mining these other natural resources. They won't do that. So this is what the president said in the meeting, right? He said, uh, um, let me read this, right? This meeting focused on strengthening governance and legal framework for the mining sector, finalizing of gold refinery regulation, and updates of the exploration regulation office of the Director General, and as well as the development of new mining law and finalizing of general mining regulations, and also institutional reforms and sector formalization by amendment of the Whistleblower Act to incentivize reporting and combat smuggling and framework for the formalization of the ASM sector. So President Barker also said that the government biggest challenge to protecting Liberia's resources is limited transparency in the money sector. That is it. You won't have these people coming and being very truthful to tell you that, oh, okay, Mr. President or Mr. Mines and Energy Minister, we were mining diamond here, but right now we found, lithium. We were mining iron ore. We found gold. They won't tell you. They will smuggle those other natural resources outside of Liberia. And I tell you for free, this country is rich. We are so rich to the extent that we can even go begging for things that we shouldn't go beg for. We should strengthen the mining sector. Most of these people leave other countries because Liberia is so vulnerable, so very vulnerable to them, that they come here and exploit us. They exploit us. They exploit our government because we do not have trained people. We do not have fair people. And another thing is, they're talking about the Whistleblower Act. What will be there for the people? create an environment that if you can blow a whistle about smuggling uh, iron ore if you're mining gold, smuggling diamond or gold if you're mining iron ore, and you get this percentage of this, it will also create an avenue where people will now start to report these kind of situations and earn back from reporting to the state. Of course, I think it's a very great initiative the government is about to take, and the natural resources of our country is something that we need to preserve. If we not take it very, very keen and important for the future of the next generation to come, it will be something that will end up having a very limited natural resources, and we cannot have a very developed country. Liberia is very, very rich in terms of natural resources that can be able to develop and transform the life of our people. We cannot sit as people, and the government shouldn't sit as a government and allow these things to happen. They shouldn't. They shouldn't. They shouldn't. So often we do not know fully what resources are being extracted, while companies may declare iron ore. Other valuable minerals may also be involved, the Liberian leader suspected. So if the president now can also suspect that, okay, in as much as we want the taxes being paid to us, we want all of the money for lessons and everything, registration and everything be paid to us. But we also want to be keen that if you say you mine iron ore, you should only be able to mine iron ore. Report diamond or gold when found while mining. Report other natural resources while found when mining. Have people these various sites representing government to steer the affairs of that institution daily movement in terms of the mineral that says the mining. That alone will strengthen the government, strengthen the mining sector, and these people now will gain some fear. Of course, they will gain some fear. We have to strengthen ourselves as people. We have to strengthen these laws and create an avenue that the government and people can be able to, basically earn from them. We must recognize the realities of agreements signed by previous administration. Infrastructure challenges such as those involving a road to Tottenham Brook are often tied to mining concessions that anticipate heavy transportation of minerals, the president observed. The president, however, initiated that his administration is not going to post excuses for not transforming the system. Okay, it's okay, right? No excuse for whatever happened. Government is continuity, Mr. President. We love that. And like I said, right, we should be able to tell ourselves as people that we can stand up for our country. If you are in a sector, just be a very patriotic citizen. We want people that will be patriotic of patriotism and be able to say these things in the faces of these people that we've received report and we are revoking your lessons from mining here. Do you think government do not able to have a state-owned mining company that we can have Liberians working, solely Liberians and taking over the mining sector so we can have to be able to generate our own revenue? Look at Ghana today. Talk over the gold sector and stop all these illegal mining, build its own refinery, refine the gold, and export them, get back the value, and develop the country. We want to be serious as people. And I think it's also a caveat to government officials that work in the mining sector and other private individuals that work in the mining sector that you have to be truthful to the government. Let's strengthen these initiatives and let's make them great. Let's make things great. Let's make things great. Let's make them great. Of course. Let's do. And at the end of the day, we'll have a full developed country if we can strengthen these various laws in various sectors of government and be able to, understand what we need to do and cognizant of the fact that, you know, fairness is important. Fairness is important. Of course, fairness is important. Fairness is very important. Yeah, so we like to say thank you for coming on, and it's been a great time, great night having conversation about issues that matter the most to our country, Liberia. And this is the round table, like we said. We are always going to be here to talk about these issues that matter the most to our people in our country that make headlines. We come here and talk about them, bring them right on your screen. And we'd like to appreciate all of our followers and our viewers for coming on the program tonight. And it has been a great, great show. My name is William McGill, and I'd like to bid you a wonderful good night from Pinsville. I'm out.
I can't stand no more, cause I'm a fool. I cannot go to school, cause no more money. I can't stand no more, cause I'm a fool. I cannot go to school, cause no more money. Hey yo, excuse me Mr. Journalist, I wonder how you make your headlines in the press release today. Although I read the news every day, but I'm really still getting confused now. And I just wanna ask you some questions. Oh, is it based on money? Is it based on presidency? Is it based on technology? Is it based on war? Tell me, we got major headlines. Oh, we got major story. There is no job, no money for hustlers. We got major headlines. We got major story. There is no job, no money for hustlers. Come take a coverage, the rainy season coming soon. In the ghetto, all the houses are full of